Hi, chat. Good evening. Sorry, I was had something cooking and I had to wait for it to finish. So here we are. Welcome. Day 9. Brendan Banfield. Once again, I don't think we're gonna have the benefits of the captions that are closed. And hold on here. What? Oh my God, that's interesting. Dolly, we'll have to take care of that. Yes. And all right. Angela says I got notified. Well, there you go. Welcome. So let's get started. So guys, cooking what? Oh, it was eggs. I was trying to boil eggs because in this house we boil eggs. We don't buy them. Am I covering Greer's new lawsuit soon? I will be, Bato. Probably tomorrow night we're going to cover Greer stuff because I think we'll be done with Brendan Banfield today. We'll see though. But we're going to get started here. Brendan Banfield, day 9. Chat, I don't know what to tell you guys, but this is getting interesting. This is getting high grade, the most premium of content as far as what we're doing. And from here, we are going to get started. Core TV just wrapped up. Here we go. This one's actually going to be a little shorter. Remember, they talked about today was a shorter day for everybody. Also, guys, you know what? I hope you had a good day today. I had a great day. Really good results for some people. We were really working hard for some good things, and good results happened. So it's been a good day. I hope you had a good one too. Because, yeah, like I said, good day out there. Good day for the good guys. But let's get started on this mofo. So here we go. Remember, anyways, chat, we are going to get started here. We are skipping ahead to On the Record. Remember, Brendan Banfield started his direct. They were not finished yet. Let's see where they are.
Penalty of law. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any preliminary matters before the jury? Yes.
You had one too, yes?
Yes.
You go first. Yours is shorter.
Judge, there were objections to exhibits 10 and 16 because the Commonwealth indicated that it was more than the 2 pages that were there.
Okay,
so
all right.
We found those.
We've taken care of that.
We're in agreement, yes.
So 10 and 16 are admitted into evidence. Okay.
And I have the updated versions, Judge, which we can put on the
Okay. That's fine.
exhibits at the end
If
of
you
the
just
day.
get those to me at close of business today, we'll have 10 and 16 in evidence.
Thank
Okay.
you. And that would be, did you?
Okay, Your Honor, we are requesting permission to add an individual to our witness list for rebuttal. Given the defendant's testimony yesterday, we were approached by a witness who indicated that they had specific information that was contrary to something the defendant testified to.
Oh, no.
This is a surprise to the Commonwealth. We were not obviously aware of what the defendant was going to say yesterday, and this witness was not one who we had this information from in the past. So we are asking to add T. Patrick Smith to our witness list for rebuttal.
Steve Patrick Smith?
Letter T, Patrick Smith.
Gotcha. All right. Yes, sir.
I haven't seen anything about this, Judge, so I would like to see if there's any sort of investigatory report as to who this person was or
I mean,
what the basis of it is.
Okay. I mean, you can talk to Ms. Sands at a break. You can, I assume you don't.
I can tell the court now. I can tell Mr. Carroll later, however the court would prefer.
What would you like?
We can have a break and talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. It's a rebuttal witness, so I'm not going to have an objection to it. But you can get the information that you need.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything further?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Banfield, if you want to go ahead and take the stand.
One thing that you wanted to ask
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't.
Your Honor, what I was asking was if he could have a bottle of water, but it looks as though the deputy's already taken
there.
care of that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So, guys, here's the deal. When it comes to surprise witnesses, it all depends. Like, did we know about this person? Did they say something? I don't know. Like, this is kind of one of those deals. Like, what actually happened here? What actually happened? We don't know, but it sounds like a new impeachment, which sounds like someone who watched the trial and heard Brendan talking bullshit. It's very, very interesting here. Very interesting in that regard. Take the comment off the screen. I'll take your comment off the screen. Fill the comment with that screen. I know. Fill the screen with that comment. Yeah, buddy. That's right. Just all of it. Just but anyways, here we go, guys. It's time for us to go. Now the defense is going to say, well, we don't have any knowledge of this. So the prosecutor say, sorry, it just came to our attention. Then it becomes a balance of what's prejudicial or what's not. And you go through the steps and the court has to make an analysis. I kind of get the feeling they're probably going to let this in because that's usually how this goes. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. This guy has the affect of a plank of wood. Like, he must be, like, this guy's weird.
We left off, and I had asked you the question on February 24th, 2023, had you touched anyone's devices other than yours?
No, I had not.
And had you specifically touched the laptop that you know was Christine's laptop that she used for work?
No, I did not.
Or her phone?
No, I didn't touch either the laptop or her phone.
Now, we were speaking about February 24th, 2023, at the time that we broke for the night last night. One of the things that I wanted to get into, and it requires us to go back, Juliana Perez Magalhães was your au pair, correct?
Yes.
And she worked through a company, correct?
Yes.
And what were the limitations in terms of what she could do in terms of work, and how long could she stay?
In general, she could work, I believe, 45 hours a week. Her term for how long she could stay, she had a contract with us for a year.
Okay. And at the time that you told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you and she started a relationship, had she wanted to extend at that point?
She had already extended her visa for a second year.
Oh, she wanted to extend.
So I believe it was October of 21 that she came for her first year, and then she extended for a second year, which would have gone to October of 23, even though she had not indicated anything about extending further.
Okay.
And she couldn't be extended further as an au pair at that point, is my understanding.
But when she first came, she was, how long was she supposed to be staying?
1 year.
Okay. And there came a time where she requested to extend. When did that happen in terms of the time frame we're talking about?
Maybe that summer, prior to 22.
22. Okay. Would that have been prior to the two of you, your relationship changing?
I believe it had been discussed prior to that, but I don't know that decisions were made.
Okay. Now, as part of her cultural care obligations or your obligations, what did you have to do on your side to assist her?
I didn't do anything to assist her. Christine was the one that handled all the cultural care forms, payments.
Okay.
Whether or not to extend or I didn't do anything with that process really.
Okay. And so that was pretty much mainly Christine, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that she had all the contact with I don't know the exact title, but the person that manages the au pairs.
Okay. Well, then if she had done that, then I won't ask you any further questions about that. Now, we were previously talking about February 24th, 2023. And I think you had described for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you had come back from the McDonald's, correct?
Yes.
And when you arrived back from the McDonald's, who did you see there?
Valerie and Juliana were at my white Ford Fusion vehicle. They were parked in the cul-de-sac, kind of in front of my neighbor's house, just outside my driveway.
And do you recall, was the car running? Were they in the car? Were they out of the car?
They were in the car at that point. I don't recall if it was running. It's a hybrid, so you don't necessarily hear the engine when it's kind of in idle.
Okay. And when you approached Juliana, what, if anything, did you do?
I asked her if the person just went into the house, as that was a question from previously, and she had indicated yes.
Okay. And was there a specific, at that point, did you know how the person got into the house?
I knew that they got into the house through the front door, but I didn't know more than that. It sounded to me at that point that they just went into the house without delay, I guess.
Okay. In terms of what you were told by others?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what did you do at that point?
I told Juliana
I'll be right back,
to
Chad.
stay at the car.
Okay. And what about regard to Valerie?
I didn't address Valerie specifically, but they were in the car, and I had just told Juliana specifically to stay at the car.
In doing that, was it your intent that she would stay with Valerie?
Yes.
Okay. At that point, after you told her that, what did you do?
I walked partially down my driveway. My driveway is kind of a little bit long because it splits between me and my neighbor's driveway. And this was so that I could see a little bit better of what was going on. And this is when I saw a silver Jeep in the driveway, and that my front door was closed.
Now, so at this point, knowing what you know at the point that you saw the silver Jeep, how did that make you feel, and what were you concerned about at that point?
I guess it made me very anxious. I didn't know what was going on. I had concerns that this was going to be an affair, but I didn't know really what was going on at that point.
Okay. Did you think to call 911 at that point?
I didn't think that it wasn't on my mind at this point that this was some type of violent or threatening encounter.
Okay. So what, if anything, did you do at that point?
I didn't continue going down the driveway. I basically made a right, which would be over the grass of my property, and headed towards my back fence.
Okay. Now, but you were closer to the front door, is that correct?
Yes, I was closer to the front door at that point.
Okay. Why didn't you go through the front door?
My front door has a electronic door lock. You would enter a code in order to gain access to the door, and every button that you push makes a beeping noise, and then the deadbolt makes a mechanical noise as it unlocks. It makes quite a bit of noise, and I didn't want all of that noise.
And what was your concern if there was going to be noise in the front area of your house?
I didn't know what was going on. If there was an affair going on, I didn't want to alert it at that point. I also thought about just getting the lunches for Valerie and Juliana that they were missing and leaving. That was also a thought.
Okay. Now, you're talking about the lunches. Why do you say that?
Juliana had informed me that she did not bring the lunches that she was going to take to the zoo for her and Valerie.
Okay. And moving forward, did you ultimately find those lunches in the refrigerator?
Yes, they were in I believe the upper left of the refrigerator.
Okay. So if you can, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, give them an idea of from the front door, and I think it shows in some of the body worn camera, but if you could explain it, the front door and the noise from the front door was a concern to you. Why, based on the layout of the house?
So the front door kind of leads to the foyer. The foyer is 2 levels and goes to, basically it echoes right to the top of the stairs. The stairs are immediately to the right of the front door. And when, if you were to go up the stairs, the hallway is open to the foyer.
And is it easy to hear what happens at the front door?
basically everywhere on the main level can hear when the front door beeps and unlocks.
Okay, so we left off where you were going around the back to the backyard.
Yes.
What, if anything, did you do at that point?
I unlocked my back gate. There's a carabiner latch on there to make sure that the dog does not unlatch it. So I unlatched that carabiner and reclosed the gate, and then headed around back to my back basement door.
Okay, and did you access the house?
Yes, I unlocked the door, and while I was unlocking the door, my dog was in the basement, which is unusual, as the basement has a door that's pretty much always closed. So my dog Lily doesn't have access to the basement normally, and she was jumping up and down at the back door when I was going down there.
Now let's just talk about the locked door from the back where you came in. How did you access that?
With my key.
Okay, and in general, were your doors locked when you left the house?
Yes.
Okay, was that something that you took care to make sure of?
And the basement door wasn't used. The basement door wasn't used too frequently, so it remained locked almost all the time. Sometimes the back door by the deck. Sometimes that would be forgotten to be unlocked because that's the door that we let the dog in and out of 20 times a day.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So you were in the basement and you were there with your dog. What's your dog's name?
Lily.
And what, if anything, did you notice about Lily's behavior when you went into the basement?
Lily was kind of frantic, is how I would describe it. She's normally pretty calm when members of the family come home. She'll just normally greet you and go about her business. She's not a young dog, but she was jumping up and down, and as I went in, she was spinning in circles and whining and I guess kind of chattering. She doesn't really bark. She kind of howls and moans and growls in terms of her communication.
Okay. And was she doing those things?
Yes.
And I think you indicated that there was a gate between the basement and the upstairs. Is that correct?
Well, when I mentioned the gate, I meant the gate to the backyard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But when I entered the basement, there was also a baby gate, but we used the gate for the dog, but not really all the time. The gate was blocking the stairs to go upstairs. The gate is, sometimes we would use it outside at the back deck to prevent the dog from going downstairs if it was particularly muddy out, or sometimes when some of the older members of our family were at the house, we would block the stairs going upstairs so that Lily would not bump into some of the older members of our family that aren't as stable. But the gate wasn't generally in use. The gate was usually in my garage, and Lily would have access to the main floor of the house and the upstairs of the house generally.
And there's a dog bed in your bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would Lily have access to that part of the house?
Yes, Lily would have access to my bedroom generally at all points. She would generally sleep in my room.
Okay. Now, and likewise, would she have access to what was Juliana's room and Valerie's room and all the other rooms?
She didn't normally have access to Juliana's room because Juliana kept her door closed all the time. She did have access to Valerie's room, but she didn't tend to go into Valerie's room unless someone else was also in Valerie's room.
Okay. Now, so you're in the basement, and what happened next?
As I was opening the basement door, I kind of, shooed Lily inside. She was kind of in the way of me going inside. But I saw that Juliana and Valerie were coming down the brick path, maybe 20, 30 feet away, after I had opened the door. And Juliana was carrying Valerie and had followed me.
And after your last discussion with Juliana, had you communicated with her in any way to come down to the house?
I never told her to come down to the house.
Okay. So your previous statement of stay in the car was still standing, I guess?
I believe that it was. That was how I ended my conversation with her, was for her to stay in the car.
Okay. So when they got to the basement, what, if anything, did you do?
I allowed them access to the basement. I had the door, partially open for them. And then as they came in, I closed the door behind them.
Okay. And did you indicate to Juliana and Valerie anything relating to where they should stay?
We had a conversation in the basement. Again, I had searched the basement a little bit, and there's mainly one large room in the basement. There's also a bedroom, but in the large room where the couches are and the TV is, and there was workout equipment in there at that point. I looked around that room for a little bit and didn't see anybody. Very short time.
Workout equipment in the basement. He's like Dark Side Phil.
But why were you looking around the basement?
Well, I thought that there was somebody in the house, but I didn't know where that person was.
Okay. And so in terms of your search of the basement, did you do it like a law enforcement officer?
I would say that it was a quick search. The lights were off in the basement when I arrived, and I didn't hear any people or movement in the basement other than ourselves and the dog. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say, I didn't go into like the bedroom closet in the basement or check behind the shower curtain. I didn't do things like that in terms of a search. So, but I did, I guess, walk the main room. There wasn't anyone by the couches. There wasn't anyone by my desk, things like that.
Okay. And were those all in the open area?
Yes.
And did you look into any of the other areas? I mean,
I did open the bedroom. I did open the bedroom door that's in the basement, and I also didn't observe anyone there.
Okay. So whatever concern that caused you to do that, you didn't have that any further, correct?
I did not have further concern that there was someone else in the basement that shouldn't be there.
Okay. So what, if anything, did you do next? And frankly, what instructions did you have for Juliana and Valerie?
So I instructed Juliana. Well, actually, Valerie looked nervous. She was kind of wide-eyed looking at me, and I knelt down to her, and I told her to stay there with Juliana, and she said, "Okay, Daddy."
And so at that point, when you were in the basement, was there anything that caused your concern level to change from when you previously testified that you were outside?
It bothered me that the dog was in the basement, as she's not normally there. But I guess I was glad that she was in the basement at that point with Juliana and Valerie. Valerie loves Lily a lot and spends quite a lot of time with her. But it was also weird that, going back to Lily, it was also weird that Lily's food bowl was in the basement and it was spilled all over the floor. I think that also shows that Lily was in a bit of a frantic state.
And so where would Lily normally eat her food?
Her dog bowl is always in the living room. Her dog bowl is always in the dining room where there's placemats for the dog on the floor, and that's where her water and food bowl are.
So the basement level is the lower level, correct?
Yes.
Where would that level that you're saying where Lily normally eats be?
That would be on the main level of the house where the living room, kitchen, dining room is.
Okay. And as you walk up the stairs from the basement, can you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury some indication as to what direction you would go to find that?
So if you go up the basement stairs, there's a door that would need to be opened. Facing away from the basement stairs to the left would be the stairs to go up. Kind of directly in front of you would be a half bathroom. Slightly to the right would be a very, very short hallway, only a couple feet. To the right would lead to the living room. To the left, so walking down that very, very short hallway, to the right would be the living room. To the left would be the kitchen, and through the hallway, through the doorway of the kitchen would be, the dining room where Lily's food bowl would be.
At some point, did you leave the basement?
Yes, after I spoke to Juliana and Valerie, I stepped over the dog gate and climbed the stairs.
Okay, so the dog gate was still in place?
Yes.
Did Lily attempt to follow?
No.
Okay, so
she can't jump over the gate.
So explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to go up to the next level, was it one flight of stairs, two flights of stairs?
I would call it one flight of stairs, but it's, 7, 8, 9 stairs, and then a small landing, and then 7 or 8 stairs again to the door.
Okay, and the door would be the door to the basement?
Yes.
Okay, so did you go up that basement stairs?
Yes, I did.
And what, if anything, were you intending on doing when you went up there?
Finding out what was going on in my house.
Okay. When you got to that level, who was there?
When I went up the stairs, I closed the basement door behind me. I did not immediately see anybody on the main floor of my house. And I walked down that very short hallway past the half bathroom so that I could see into the living room and the kitchen area, of which I did not see anybody.
Okay, and was that a full search or just in the moment?
I guess I walked past the kitchen table, and I walked past the countertop, and also looked in the dining room. So I would say that I looked on the main floor of the house.
So you didn't see anyone on the main floor of the house?
No.
Did you hear anyone?
While I was looking on the main floor of the house, I heard sounds from upstairs.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do at that point?
I moved closer to the upstairs. I moved closer to the upstairs stairs, to the stairs heading upstairs, but still on the main floor of the house.
Okay. And was that a better position to hear or know what's going on?
That's where the sound seemed to be coming from. There's regular ceiling over the kitchen and living room area, but in the foyer area that leads to upstairs, which is where I heard the sounds coming from.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you hear?
I heard the sounds of, I would say, moaning, as well as sound of skin on skin contact.
What did you think was going on at that point?
Sex.
Okay. Why didn't you call 911 at that point?
Well, I believe that it was an affair that was going on at that point. That doesn't seem like an emergency for the police to be involved in, was my thought at that moment.
Okay. Now, what were you thinking at that point when you decided what that was?
I guess I was emotional at that point. While Christine and I had affairs, we had never seen each other with anyone. No one was ever caught in the act or anything like that. Hearing what I thought was sex was upsetting.
So what were you thinking to do? What was your thought process at that point?
I thought about just getting the lunches and giving them to Valerie and Juliana and having them leave. I thought about just ignoring the situation and going to work and dealing with this after work, hopefully when no one else is there. I thought about how Christine had just taken off the day before because she was originally supposed to be working on the 24th. And I thought about, well, this seems to be why. I thought about, well, maybe this is why she took off on the 24th.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that she took off on the 24th until the night of the 23rd.
So what made you stop from your initial thought of leaving and getting the lunches and letting Juliana and Valerie go to the zoo?
I guess as my mind was kind of racing in this moment, the sound, I guess, sounded like it changed to me. Instead of what I thought was the sounds of sex, I thought that the impact sounds sounded forceful, and that Christine's moaning sounded painful and not pleasurable, and that the distance between the sound of the skin on skin contact sound.
This sounds so creepy how he's describing it. How do you know what sounds like fighting versus sex? So I've done a lot of fighting and a lot of sex. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, you don't look like it, buddy. Yeah, what were you hearing? Were you hearing this? Like, what were you hearing? This is so weird. I know, because he's extremely autistic. He's extremely autistic. He's like, they'll believe this.
Sounded too far apart for sex, and I thought that maybe she was being hurt.
So what did you do?
I started to go up the stairs.
Okay. Did you draw your weapon at any point?
While I was walking up the stairs, I did unholster my weapon, and I angled my body going up the stairs so that I was facing the bedroom door, which once you go up several of the stairs, I can see, because I'm taller, but I can see the bedroom door was partially open, maybe 8 to 12 inches, something like that. But I couldn't really see in the door.
But were you able to determine whether that was the area where these sounds were coming from?
That is, I could tell that was the direction of the sound was coming from the master bedroom area. That's the only door towards the left once you go upstairs.
Okay. When you, so from the main landing by the front door to get to the top level, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the level that you're talking about where the sounds were coming from.
So once again, you would go up several stairs, and then there would be a small landing, and then you would go up one step to another small landing, in which then you would kind of U-turn or switch back and go up another 8 or 9 stairs to the top floor. I don't know exactly how many stairs, maybe 16 or 18 total, but like 8 at the bottom, and then the landing, and then 8 at the top, and then you're at the upstairs hallway.
Okay. Given what you'd heard, did you go right into the room?
Actually, I heard the door open on the main floor.
He sat outside and started masturbating, probably. It's like, oh my God, this is great.
When I was by the landing, when I heard the door open on the main
Nobody
floor,
fucking believes you.
I saw Juliana come up partially at the basement door.
Okay, and so you were both on the same level at that point?
No, I was on the stairs, heading up the stairs, and I kind of only did a quick glance, seeing that Juliana was there, and then I continued up the stairs.
And did you give her any instructions as to whether to go back to the basement?
I didn't say anything to her.
Okay, so you continued on?
Yes.
But you realized she was there?
I did.
What, if anything, did you do next?
I continued up the stairs and made a left towards the master bedroom.
Okay, and in terms of the landing where the master bedroom is located, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what way you had to go from the top of the stairs.
I went to the left, as that's the way towards the master bedroom. There's double doors to the master bedroom. To the right would be a bathroom, the guest room, Valerie's bedroom, and Juliana's bedroom.
So you went left at this point?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you do at that point outside the room?
Outside the room, I headed towards the door, and I pushed the right of the double doors open with my foot.
And did you otherwise have something in your hands?
Yes, I had my firearm in my hands.
Okay. And when you pushed with your foot, which foot was it?
My right foot.
Okay. And were you able to see or hear any more when you did that?
Pushing the door open with my right foot revealed Christine, and who I now know is Joseph Ryan. They were on the floor near the bottom left of my bed, kind of in front of the master bathroom door, just past the bed, in between the bed and the tall dresser.
Okay. So you just described it as the bottom left. Describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how do you come to bottom left? What position are you in order to describe it that way? If you're in the bed.
Yes, if you were in bed or facing the TV that's in there, the left would be the bottom left corner. That would be the part that's closest to the master bathroom.
Okay, thank you. And so you indicated you saw Joseph Ryan and Christine.
Yes.
Had you ever seen Joseph Ryan before?
I had never seen Joseph Ryan before.
Have you ever had any communications with him before?
On February 24th is the only time I had communications with him in that room.
Okay, so when you observed this, and please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly what you observed with regard to his contact with Christine.
Christine was, I would describe as nude and on all fours, on her hands and knees, and Joe Ryan was behind her.
Okay, so it sounds like you murdered him because you were mad. Wait, you're admitting they're having sex? At what point does this sound good now? She wasn't being raped on all fours. Like, it doesn't sound like that. Like, what? How does he think this is going to work? God, he could have at least lied and said he was on top of her and she was screaming, help, help. So, I mean, like, it just sounds like his wife is getting dicked down by this dude. And he got mad. This makes no sense. Anyways, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Angled slightly behind her, and from my position at the door, slightly to the left of her, he was clothed, and he was looking directly at me.
Remember, the guy's pants were like down, but his underwear was up. So I don't think he had his dick out.
I opened the door.
And when you first caught eye contact with him, where exactly were you in relation to?
They made eye contact. Oh my God. Cuck, amazing.
To the bed, and where were they?
No, I was maybe one step into the room.
Okay. Now, when you observed him, what, if anything, did you observe about the situation prior to anything being said?
I observed, basically, as soon as I went in the room, it appeared that Christine tried to get up. But I guess I'm unsure if it's that Christine tried to get up or if Joe Ryan pulled her up. It's hard, I can't really tell, but Christine went from being on all fours, hands and knees, to more like being on her knees.
Now, had you said anything to them or to him specifically?
Almost immediately, I said police.
Okay, and what was your intention in doing that?
Alerting the room that I was there.
Okay, and at the time that you said police, was your gun in plain sight?
Yes, I was holding my gun forward.
And your badge, was that in plain sight?
My badge is on my belt, so that could, I don't know if he could see it, but it is. Okay. It is a gold badge that is attached to my belt.
And so, if you think of it as a clock around you, where would, at what point can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where your badge would be?
Like 11 o'clock. So just to kind of in front of my left pants pocket.
Okay. And were you wearing a jacket over that area?
I was wearing a jacket that day.
Do you know if it was covering it or not?
No, I don't know if it was covered. I don't know if it was covering it at that moment. I don't remember if my jacket was zipped or not. And it's February, so
okay.
I'm not sure if my jacket is zipped or not.
In terms of seeing the badge, you didn't pull it out and show it or not?
I did not.
Okay. You just said police?
Yes.
And what happened from there?
Christine responded first. Christine said, Brendan, he has a knife.
Now, before she said that, did you see any weapons at that point?
I didn't see a weapon. I didn't see a weapon at my initial viewing of the scene in that first couple seconds.
And after Christine said that to you, were you able to identify it?
I observed that there was something silver in Joe Ryan's right hand, but it was still difficult to see, as part of it would be in his grip and part of it seemed to be inside of Christine's hair.
Okay, and I think you'd said previously, was Christine had long hair?
Christine had pretty long hair that goes down past the middle of her back. It's a curly, thick brown. She had a lot of hair.
Okay. Now, just so we're clear, when at the time that you said police, what was the position of Joe Ryan and what was the position of Christine?
Joe Ryan was also on the floor. I would say that he was in a kneeling position. On the floor, partially behind Christine, partially behind the bed. Okay, and the bed high? The bed is, I would say the bed is very high for a lot of people. It has storage dressers underneath the bed, and there was a foundation under it, and then the mattress itself is a thick mattress too.
Okay. So from your vantage, have you changed your vantage point? I think you'd said one step into the room.
Yeah, I had only basically gone one, maybe two steps into the room, and I didn't go further. I didn't go further at that point.
Now, when you said police, what, if anything, did Joe Ryan say to you?
Joe Ryan didn't say something until after I told him to drop the knife.
Okay. And what was his response?
He told me to drop my gun.
And at that point, was there, well, let me ask you this. You saw a knife there. What were you thinking in terms of Joe Ryan with a knife to Christine's neck?
extremely terrified. I don't know that I've ever been more panicked in my life.
And so what were you thinking that you needed to do?
I was hoping to de-escalate the situation. I did not want to shoot him. I wanted him to let her go.
And so after he said you dropped the gun, what did you say?
I repeated to drop the knife and to let her go.
And did he say anything to you?
He did. He told me that she was hers, that she was hers, and that she gave herself to me. And Christine kind of yelled, moaned
Okay.
at this point also.
Okay, I'm sorry, you said she was hers?
She was his, sorry. She was his.
Can you say the whole statement of what
He said that she was his and that she gave herself to him, to me, is what she gave herself to me, is what he said.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I interrupted. What happened then?
Christine kind of yelled or moaned, or both, and it seems that she went to her left, my right a little bit.
Okay. Now, when she yelled or moaned, what did that indicate to you?
I thought that she was being injured, being stabbed.
Or you don't know what a woman's pleasure sounds like. Yeah, like this is yeah, like do you or maybe you're like, my wife was screaming repeatedly. I never heard her do that before. Yeah, I'm not there's no way this is no. I can't believe his attorney sat there and looked at him and it's like, Brendan, we'll run with this. Like, God, I've had clients who are like, here's what I'm going to say. And I'm like, you better come up with a different fucking story because that's not going to work. Like, if that's what you tell them, you're done. And, God almighty, chat. Anyways, hello, it's Clyde. Clyde's like, ooh, he's like, I can smell bullshit from here, boss. But seriously, though, like, how did he think this was like? He sat there all night back and forth pacing in his cell. He's like, they're gonna buy this. He's like, he's like, this is it. I've got it. I'm the smartest man alive. There's no way. There is no. Yeah, I agree here, Hans. Yes, and then they all kissed. Or he's like, and then I ate his goo. That's like the next thing. It's just I don't get these people. I don't understand it. This is absolutely asinine. I mean, can it be absolutely asinine? Because if it's asinine, it pretty much states for the fact it's horse shit. But God almighty, this is horse shit. I just can't. I can't with this guy. I can't. I was making a Nick and Aaron joke there. He's lying worse than everybody else. Yeah. This is a Leering Center thing. Yes. This is Ben Shapiro WAP levels of oof. Yeah. 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 It took him 10 minutes from the call to getting there. Yeah. This is just, oh.
Did you see him stab her?
It appeared that he was putting forward movement towards, or it seemed that he was putting forward movement towards with the knife, but I couldn't see Christine's neck or face really at that point. Her hair was in the way.
Okay. So
wait, so he was like fucking her from behind and then he flipped her around on his dick or something? I don't understand how we got there. Yeah, yes, Liquid Magic Chan, yes. I too can't believe this is the type of man who would shoot you for banging his wife.
if you can, explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why it was you couldn't see Christine's face or her neck.
Christine's hair was, I would describe as kind of wild at this point. Not normally it's brushed and straight, or well, not really. I mean, it's still curly, but you know, it's more kept. It was kind of large and frizzy at this point, and I couldn't really see very well.
Okay. And so I interrupted you. So well, go ahead and tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you were following up with.
I'm sorry, I don't.
So you indicated in your previous answer that you couldn't see whether or not he had stabbed her in the neck or made contact with the neck.
Correct.
Okay. And that she had made some sort of a sound and pulled away.
Yes. So she kind of moved to her left and to my right, but my best guess is that he had a grip on maybe the back of her neck, maybe the back of her hair. I can't see his left hand at this point, and so she did not really go anywhere.
Did she appear to be injured greater than what you thought when you saw her?
It appeared that she had some amount of, I believe that she had some amount of blood in her hair at this point.
From where you could see it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me just ask you this. Other than your training, had you ever shot a person before?
I had never used my firearm outside of a range situation.
And just to clarify my question, it sounds like you had shot somebody in training. You just did training, correct?
I did not shoot anybody in training. I have not used my weapon in duty at any point, or the only time I had used my firearm was at a gun range or at training.
Okay. Was that a concern for you while you were in the moment?
There wasn't a lot of space between Joe and Christine. I was very fearful of hitting Christine.
And so what if anything, when the time came, well, were you considering using your firearm?
Yes.
At what point did that start?
I mean, very quickly in the situation, but there's only, his head isn't far from Christine's head. I guess his part of his body is partially behind Christine's body. Part of his body is behind the bed. It's a very tight situation.
Okay. And so you delayed from your first instinct?
Judge, objection is to leading.
What, if anything, did you do
I'll
then?
sustain the objection.
I mean, I know that I told him to let her go at least one more time, and then I know that I told him that he was going to be under arrest.
Okay.
I missed that at some point he asked for me to leave, and at a different point he asked for himself to leave.
And what did you say to those requests?
At that point, that was when I told him that he was under.
I mean, this guy was probably fucking her, and he's like, "Oh my god, we've got holy shit, she's got role players here. This is the best ever." Yeah, I don't remember. Yes, that's true. But he's like, "Wow, this is really intense. Like, we've got role players involved." Yeah, this is yeah.
Arrest.
Okay. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what, if anything, took place that caused you to discharge your firearm?
It appeared that he did a very forceful stab towards Christine, and Christine kind of spun away from him. So she was facing towards me, and I guess she rotated as she spun away from him and landed on her stomach on the ground. This kind of had Joe now on his knees, kind of facing Christine, of which I saw him do a downward stabbing stroke, and that's when I fired at him.
And when you fired, were you able to determine whether or not you made contact?
I didn't know where I made contact, but I believed that I made contact as he moved.
Okay.
He moved backwards, he moved backwards a little bit away from Christine at that point.
And what did you do?
I immediately hurried towards Christine, and I actually stepped over her, and I told her to stay down as I stepped over her. I did this so that I could look at Joe Ryan and see if he was still a threat.
And what, if anything, did you see when you went over there?
I saw the knife on the floor.
Okay, was that the first time you saw the knife in its full?
That was the first time I could fully see the knife. The other times, it was in his grip and obscured by Christine's hair.
And the knife that you saw is the same knife that you've seen in the Commonwealth's photos?
Yes.
Okay. Before, at some point, did you help Christine?
At that moment, I did not help Christine yet. I used my foot and dragged the knife towards me with my toe to move the knife away from Joe.
Okay, so if you can, so that there's an image in their minds, can you explain from stepping over Christine to doing what you just said with the knife?
I probably need to take another step or two to get closer to Joe. The knife was very close to Joe. It's like I reached my right foot forward. I still had my gun pointed at him. So I reached my right foot forward, and I guess it stuck my toe out and dragged it back towards me so that it was not next to him.
Okay, and what would you say the distance was where the knife was when you first touched it with your foot? I'm sorry, the distance from Joe Ryan when you first touched it with your foot?
Not more than a foot and a half.
Okay, and when you removed it from the area around him, how far was it from Joe Ryan?
Maybe 5 or 6 feet, but immediately next to me.
Okay, so what did you do then next?
I didn't notice that Joe was moving. And
well, let me ask you this: did you ever touch Joe?
I never touched Joe at any point during this encounter.
Okay, and when you moved the knife, what did you then? What happened next?
I turned around and faced Christine, and I kneeled down next to her.
Okay, and what was her position at the time that you kneeled down next to her?
At that point, she was on her stomach. She was kind of writhing back and forth, kind of rolling back and forth, and I guess at some point, pretty quickly, she rolled over onto her back.
Was that with your assistance?
At that point, she was doing that on herself. I don't think that I helped her roll onto her back.
Okay. What, if anything, were you doing to assist her at that point?
So she was holding her neck, and she told me that she couldn't see. And I asked her to let me see, indicating that her hand was covering her neck, and she very shakily removed her hand from her neck, and I could see the wound on the right side of her neck.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do at that point?
She told me to put my hand there, and she had put her hand back on her neck, and then I put my left hand on top of her hand, but she pulled her hand from underneath mine and put her hand back on top of my hand and put pressure on my hand, I think indicating that she...
Stop! Nobody believes this. No, actually, she didn't want to stop to believe. She took her hand and put it on my hand, and she said, "It's okay. I love you." No, fucking A, dude. God. Oh, my God. This is... Yeah, at least not in an intimate way. This is so fucking bad. This is so fucking bad.
Wanted more pressure on the wound.
And did you do that?
Yes, I had.
Okay.
I had my hands on hers, trying to apply pressure.
And she was helping you?
Yes.
And so at that point, had you asked Juliana to call 911?
At that point, I noticed that Juliana was in the room, and I told Juliana to both call 911, and I told her to watch him, indicating to Joe.
So the position that you were in when you were attending to Christine, where was it in relation to Joe at the last time you saw him?
Joe was behind me. I wasn't facing Joe. I was kneeling down with Christine in front of me. I guess my body orientation would be towards the master bathroom.
Okay. And what if anything happened next?
Juliana she looked like she was stunned, but after I told her to call 911 and watch him, she seemed to dart forward and went into the master bathroom.
Okay. And did you ask her to do that?
No.
Do you know what she was doing?
I mean, I know what she was doing now, but I don't know. I don't think I was thinking about what she was doing at that second.
That's what I'm asking is what was she did you know what she was doing at that time?
I don't think that's what I was thinking about
okay.
I don't think I was thinking about what she was doing at that time.
Now, what happened next?
Christine told me that she was bleeding out and that she was sorry and that she loved me.
And what did you tell her?
I called it.
It was at this.
I called it. I'm sorry for getting dicked by this man. And she's like, I am sorry. I have a daddy complex. Like, fucking A. Fucking A. Mother people actually believe, like, he thinks he believes this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he refers to that guy as Joe. He's like, the guy I shot, that man who raped my wife. Boosh, yes. And he said, I love you, Brendan. And I brushed her hand over her eyes, and they closed. Then a rose petal fell from the dresser into her pooling blood. Scene. Bean. Yes. Yes, he's the real victim here. Yes.
Point that there was another shot. And I looked up and I saw that Juliana had my other firearm. And I was stunned that Juliana had shot.
Okay. Did you, where was she in relation to where you were?
She was in front of the master bathroom door. This is kind of a double door.
And so, how far do you think she was from you when you shot?
Not very far. Not very far at all. Maybe 4 or 5 feet.
Was there any indication as to why she shot prior to shooting?
I didn't hear her say anything prior to. I didn't hear her say anything prior to her shooting.
Now, at any point, do you recall Joe Ryan touching you?
So this was at roughly the same time as the shot. I don't exactly know. If I would assume maybe almost simultaneously. Joe Ryan struck me in my shoulder, like the back part of my shoulder blade.
And did you see him do that?
I did not see him do that.
How did you know it was him?
Well, he's the only person behind me. There's no one else behind me.
And after you felt that, was that when Juliana shot?
To me, those all seem to be within the same second. It's hard to say exactly.
Now, when you were, so you were tending to Christine prior to Juliana shooting, correct?
Yes.
Were you able to maintain whatever it was you were doing for Christine?
I don't know exactly why, but my reaction to being hit and Juliana shooting was to stand up, and I stood up and turned around and looked at Joe.
Okay.
Joe was then further back, closer to the wall, and partially on the dog bed.
Now, did you make sure that he was not getting up again?
I looked at him. He did not appear to be moving at that point.
Okay. What did you then do?
I yelled for Juliana to call 911 again, and I turned back around and went back to Christine.
Now, do you know what Juliana did with the gun that she used to shoot Joe Ryan?
At some point, I know she put it on the bed.
Did you observe that?
I don't think I observed her putting it on the bed.
Okay. And the gun that Juliana shot Joe Ryan with wasn't the gun that you have, correct?
No, the gun that I shot Joe Ryan with was my duty weapon, a Glock 19M, and the gun that Juliana took out of the safe, was a Glock 43X.
Now, the gun that you used to shoot Joe, was that put back in the holster?
I did not put my gun back in the holster. I put it on the ground next to me, basically just right at my side, kind of where I was kneeling.
So where, in terms of position, when you were tending to Christine, what position were you facing?
I was facing Christine towards the master bathroom door, and yeah.
And so when you put your gun down in order to aid her, was it to what direction did you put the gun down?
I put it to my right, so it was in between me and the bed.
And to the best of your recollection, do you know where it was in terms of in relation to the corner of the bed?
It's pretty close to the back left corner of the bed. There wasn't too much space between me and the bed at this point.
And can you just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in terms of time that morning, after you put that gun down, what did you do?
Well, when I put the gun down, that's when I had originally started aid to Christine, and that was when I asked her to show me the wound, and then we had kind of both put our hands on the wound.
Okay. Now, did there come a time when you instructed Juliana to call 911?
I had instructed Juliana to call 911 at least twice.
Okay. And did there come a time where you realized that when you were wondering what was going on with 911?
She seemed to be, after she shot, she seemed to be stunned and just standing there, not doing anything. And I yelled at her to call 911 again.
And do you know if she followed your?
At that point, she seemed to come out of her trance, and I know that she started working on her phone.
Now, why didn't you call 911?
I had a significant amount of blood on my hands, and I was trying to help Christine. And also, we're trained that if there's others around, if you can have them call 911 or assist you, that is something that you would instruct them to do.
So, from inside the room, please describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how that 911 how you came to be talking on the 911 call.
Juliana seemed to be pacing, kind of in front of the TV area of the bedroom, and kind of moving towards the master bedroom door. She called 911, but when she called, she really wasn't saying anything. She was kind of stumbling over her words.
And so, what, if anything, did you do?
I heard that she was on the call with 911. And I could hear the 911 operator asking questions, and so I answered the questions, of my home location, and I guess briefly what had happened.
What did you say?
I believe I said that there was a man that had stabbed my wife, and that I had shot him, and I identified myself as an officer, gave my address. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, were you still rendering aid to Christine?
Yes, we had spoke slightly more also during that time. She was coughing, and blood had come out of her mouth, and so I knew that it's possible for people to choke on blood, and so I told her I was going to roll her on her side, and she did, and so we did, and so I did that, and she seemed to know that was also the right thing to do.
Okay. And so she was able to help you roll her over?
Yeah, so I rolled, so I guess it would be kind of slightly away from me, slightly more towards the master bathroom door, and further away from the bed.
Now, in the time frame that we've just talked about, did you ever get a point where you had a better idea of the wounds that were on Christine's neck?
After Juliana shot, and I went back to Christine. Once again, I put my hand on her hand, but she slid her hand from underneath mine and put it on top of mine, and actually my finger went inside of her neck, and that made me realize how badly she was hurt.
Now, with regard to when the hands were moved off of the neck, was there any indication as to how badly she was hurt in terms of anything?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
In terms of, once you took your hands off of her neck, did that give you any indication of the extent of the wounds?
Yeah, I could see I saw the length of the wound, and the fact that part of my finger actually went inside of hers before I quickly removed my hand out.
Were you able to, and so were you able to continue compression?
I did try. I would say that both of us continued to try compression. And probably also just before she rolled over, I realized that she was holding her hand on the other side of her neck too. I didn't notice that previously.
And so what side of the neck are you talking about now?
I was helping her with the right side of her neck, and she had her left hand on her left side of her neck.
Okay, so she was tending to herself on the left side of the neck?
Yeah, I didn't notice that originally.
Okay, did you assist her then at that point?
I did not put my other hand around her I did not put my other hand around her at that point. It was I don't know, I guess we were focused. I was talking to her, and I guess I was a little bit more focused on that.
Okay. And in talking to her, did she assist you in any, in terms of how you could help her?
Basically, she had indicated that, she had told me that she, in her words and with her hands, that, she wanted more pressure. After my finger had gone into her neck, I tried to close my hand a little bit around the skin to try to, try to close the wound as much as possible, but it didn't seem to be doing anything.
Okay, and in terms of the blood, when you took your hand off of her wound, what did you see?
In the beginning, you could see that the blood was partially shooting out, and it was going through her fingers. But later on, that wasn't what was happening any longer.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you observe, and what did you do?
This was back to putting pressure and covering the wound. And
now, did there come a time when the first responders arrived?
Yes, after some time, the first responders arrived. I know that Juliana left the room at some point, and I know that I heard her go down the stairs. I think that 911 had instructed her to open the door. At a different point on the 911 call, the 911 operator advised to get towels. And Juliana, this was before opening the door. Juliana went into the master bathroom and came back with towels also.
Now, had you been using anything when the 911 operator suggested towels, clean towels, things like that?
So I guess originally I stopped doing pressure when the 911 operator recommended to use towels, and at that point I grabbed the comforter that was kind of all around me, and I used the comforter, part of the comforter on her neck for a little bit.
Okay. And did there come a time where you moved to something different, or what?
When Juliana gave me the towels, I kind of tossed the comforter behind me and used a towel.
Okay. Now, what, if anything, did you do after that?
I know that there was a point that I rechecked Christine's pulse. So I had to remove the towel, and I saw that it wasn't really as covered in blood anymore, and the pulse was significantly weaker. And I checked her pulse with my hand. Her pulse, she still had a pulse, but it felt slow and weak compared to when I had my hand previously.
Now, if you can, and do you have any idea, or can you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury any indication as to, from the time you shot Joe Ryan to the time the first responders arrived, how long that was?
It's hard. It's very difficult to say. It felt like an extremely long time. I don't know. You're not really thinking about how long it really takes, but the wait on the 911 call felt like it was forever.
After you testified, you stood up after Juliana shot Joe Ryan?
Yeah.
Was there any time between the moment you went back to Christine and the time the first responders arrived that you weren't next to Christine?
After I stood up, I spent the rest of my time kneeling next to Christine, and I did not get up from next to Christine until first responders arrived and instructed me that they were going to take over.
Okay, well, let's go to that point. What was the first thing that you realized that the police were there, or fire, or whomever?
I know that I heard Juliana yelling to come up here, and I heard many footsteps and people arriving.
And from your position of rendering aid, how did you move from that position?
So I was facing Christine and facing towards the master bathroom, and I was instructed to go into the master bathroom.
When you went, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I think I was standing relatively near for a few seconds before they instructed me to go into the master bathroom.
And when you relinquished first aid duties to the first responders, was Christine still breathing?
Yes, Christine was still breathing,
and her pulse was still on?
Yes, she was still alive. She very much.
Okay. Now, when you were taken away by the first responders,
Is this a good time to have a morning break?
yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a 15-minute morning break. Please do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. Thank you.
All right, chat. I mean, oh my God, how does anybody fucking believe this guy? Like, there's no way anybody sat there and thought this good. Harris Riley says, can we talk about that girl? We actually watched that video recently on a Thursday or Monday night. We watched that where she took over the Sally Port, and they couldn't tear gas her out, which was impressive. So, but yeah, no, how you doing, Harris? Yes, Booch like, and then I kicked her and said, "Die, bitch!" No, wait, strike that part. Oh yeah. Lawful Lucas says, how long do you think the jury deliberates for bringing back guilty verdict? 1 hour. I'm like an hour or less. Under an hour. I'll take the under. There's no way after hearing this. There's no way after hearing this. There's no way after hearing all this. Also, good to see you, Lucas. Spud gun for £5 sterling. The King Sterling. Says Brandon Banfield betrayed by thirsty Brazilian babysitter. Sean, new title after workshopping at with Dirty Eric. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is bad. And then BobTube for $2 Australian dollary doodly doos says, so we all agree this guy is innocent, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. The family sits reserved in the third row. Yeah. Hearing about your daughter, or hearing about this guy talking about like creepily how your daughter's getting balled out by some dude. That's rough. Anyways, here we go. This is fucking garbage. How does anybody? 1 hour, 39 minutes. Let's see if we get the closed captioning up here yet.
She was still alive.
Oh, we got it
Very
now,
much.
chat.
Okay.
Here we go. 1 hour, 39 minutes. Here we go. We're going to pull this up.
Mr. Banfield.
Mr. Banfield, we're like it. Oh.
All right. Are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Here we go, chat. We got it now. No, they hadn't even finished yet. We had to take a break. They're still on direct. Cross will be coming, though. I have the feeling like this goes on for, we're going to get to this here pretty quick. Pretty quickly here. And then, oh my God, he goes, they bring back that guy. I thought they got rid of him. There's a rebuttal witness, and then, yeah. All right, here we go. April says, do you think his lawyer knew what he's going to say? I would assume a lot of that has been talked about. But if that's what your client says, and you know, it's like, we're going with it. But it's like, Jesus Christ, that's got to be, oof. This is a rough one. So. Yeah, this is probably going to be a bloodbath.
All right. Your next question, sir.
Thank you, Aaron. Sir, we left off at the point when you were being told to let the first responders take care of Christine. Do you recall who it was that advised you to go into the bathroom?
I did not know the names of anybody at that point.
Okay. When you went into the bathroom, what, if anything, did you do while they were
Oh, hold on, chat. Why did that not work? I hate this when it does that.
tending to Christine?
Okay.
Yeah, I was instructed to sit on the edge of the tub.
Okay. And at that point, what condition were you in?
I was panicked, shocked. I mean, worried, scared. I felt like I was having a very hard time breathing, and my leg was bothering me. Seemed to be spasming.
Okay. We saw from the body cam video. Excuse me. We saw from the body cam video you received, I guess, a checkup in the ambulance.
Yes. Okay. Some of the officers took me to an ambulance.
And what was that? What was the basis for them to get you checked out? Do you know?
I know at one point when I was in the bathroom, I went to the ground.
Okay.
And I wasn't walking properly. So they seemed to want to get me checked out.
When you arrived back home from the McDonald's, were you having any difficulties physically?
No.
During the period of time of what you described on February 24th within the bedroom, were you struck in any way that would have affected your lower extremities?
I don't remember being hit in my leg at all. I only remember being hit in the back of my shoulder.
Okay. And when you, I think it's partially showing on the body cam, but when you went down, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happened.
I was crying. I was having, I guess I would say that I was hyperventilating. I stabilized myself with my hands on the floor. And I was scared for Christine.
Okay. And at some point you, as we see in the evidence that's been presented, you go to the ambulance and you go to the hospital, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about another topic that came up during the trial. What, if anything, did you know about the purchase of windows at your house?
Windows were, Christine and I started looking for windows back in 2021. We received quotes from 10, 12, 15 different vendors. The shopping process was long. Over the course of the quotes and shopping process, we refined that we wanted triple pane windows because the front of my house has quite a bit of southern exposure. A lot of sun comes in there and the foyer would get very warm. Also, some of the windows in my house were stuck closed where we couldn't open them. Christine complained about that none of our windows had screens. And one of the windows by the back door was off center enough that there was actually a slight gap to the outside. And the smallest window in the basement, for some reason, was a single pane window and would allow cold to come in. So that was a lot of the reasons why we shopped for windows.
And you indicated you went through numerous vendors?
Yes.
And when, if you know, did you agree upon vinyl light windows?
I believe we agreed on, I believe we had a second quote from Vinyl Light in the summer, the early summer of 2022, which is before any relationship with Juliana. And we received an updated quote with the triple pane windows. I believe it was in July of 2022, which is also before any relationship with Juliana. And we placed the final order in August and I believe
That is defiantly. Now, see, they got it all wrong. That's not what had happened. Checkmate, nerds. That's literally what he just did right there. You noobs, you nerds don't get it. That's his argument right there. Oh my god. Oh my god, this guy, fuck it. He's going to fucking prison.
we made the first payment before any relationship was with any relationship with Juliana, meaning that the windows were fully decided prior to any relationship with Juliana.
Now, did you ever go outside and screen in some sort of a test?
No, it's ridiculous. I did at one point speculate to Juliana that I wondered if our neighbors didn't hear the gunshots because of the windows. That's the only thing that I ever remember saying to Juliana, and that was after February 24th, after some of my neighbors had spoke to me and said that they didn't hear anything.
Now, the window job that you had Vinyl Light do was a full replacement of all the windows.
Yes, it was replacement of every window.
Okay. And was there anything about the windows in the bedroom that was greater in terms of soundproofing or greater in terms of efficiency than the other windows around the house?
No, the entire house was chosen to do triple pane windows. There was a couple windows that were slightly different. One of them was the pane window in the master bathroom, which was obscured glass so that people can't see into the master bathroom. We changed the style of window of the basement smallest window to being double pane and triple pane in a sliding style. I think that was the main changes besides upgrading to triple pane and the different repairs and things that we wanted in terms of features.
Now, moving on to the personal weapon that you have.
Okay.
Was that the one that Juliana used on the 24th?
Yes, my personal firearm was a Glock 43X.
And where do you normally keep that?
I keep it in my firearm safe, which is inside of my master bedroom closet.
Okay. And do you know, was that firearm in the safe and locked on the 24th of February?
Yes, the firearm was in the safe and locked on the 24th of February.
And did Juliana have access to the code?
Juliana knew the code because the code was the same as my door code to the house. And at different points, she was in my master bedroom closet and observed me putting away my firearms.
And so when you testified that she went into the closet and you thought it was for towels?
So when she went to the bathroom, I mean, I guess first I can't see the master bedroom closet from where I was in the bedroom. When I told her to watch him and call 911, I didn't know what exactly she was doing at that moment, and I couldn't see that she went to the safe.
And at what point did you realize that she had gone to the safe?
Only after she shot.
And at some point, were you able to confirm that your personal weapon was being used?
Well, yes, I saw that she had my weapon.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the day before, November 23rd.
February 23rd?
I'm sorry, February 23rd. I apologize. Were you aware of any vacation plans for you and the members of your family?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you know about the vacation plans?
Christine and I already had a cruise that was planned for, I don't know, maybe May or June of 2023. That was planned earlier with a large part of our family was going to be attending to that. But Christine and I were planning another trip, which was going to possibly be to Punta Cana, which is where we had our honeymoon originally. And so we had discussed that, and she was telling me about some of the resorts that she had been looking at.
Okay. And was Royalton Resorts one of those?
That I believe was the one that she liked the best, and she sent me a message wanting me to look at it and basically to see if I agreed, and if we would probably book it relatively soon if we thought that would work out, and we'd have to figure out days off and things like that.
Do you remember where you were when you received that message?
Actually, I think I was in the living room with her. I think she just sent it to me as like, this is what we're saving so that we could, continue to review it later.
Okay, to show her.
Yes.
Or to show you, I guess.
Yes.
And how did you receive that message?
Generally, when we message, we don't use standard text messaging. Our usual messenger of choice was Facebook Messenger, and that's how I received that.
Okay. And you were in the same room with her?
I believe I was in the same room with her. We were in and out of the same room together frequently that day. That day was my birthday.
Specifically relating to that request or the discussion about the travel arrangements, did you ever take control of her laptop?
No, she was sitting on the couch using her laptop, and we were discussing it while I was playing with Lego with Valerie.
And did you ever use her phone regarding that discussion?
No, I never used her phone.
Did she ever leave to go anywhere during that discussion regarding resorts?
Not that I remember. At some point, I took Valerie to bed, and bedtime at that time usually involved a story or two, brushing teeth, getting changed. So that took 20, 30 minutes, and then I returned to Christine after I was done with bed for Valerie.
When you returned to Christine, did she have her devices still?
Yes.
Now, this was your birthday, so what was going on at the house that day?
One of my friends, Nishant, came over. He brought me a box of large cookies from, I believe it was Midnight Treats, and but really we didn't do anything for my birthday because Valerie had swim lessons that day, so I had taken Valerie to swim lessons. Christine had told me she had to work late. I don't think she got back until after 8. Christine and I had celebrated my birthday, I guess, the day before. On the 22nd, we went to Korean barbecue, me, Christine, and Valerie.
Okay. And on the 23rd.
Okay, chat, someone's asking about the closed captioning. The way it works is after a video gets published and it's completed, it takes like a couple hours to process. So the things won't show up right away. It takes a couple hours for it to process through. But yeah, it's all her, and then we're doing it the day after my birthday. This is all very, very suspicious.
Which was your birthday. Where was Juliana?
I don't know where Juliana was when we were talking about the vacations. I do know that she came with me to the gym. She actually worked out with Nishant at the gym, and then Nishant came back to our house later. I was with Valerie at the pool.
Okay. And
John, who's that?
when the discussions regarding resorts and all that sort of stuff was going on, was Juliana around for that?
I don't know where she was, but she was not in the living room, kitchen, main floor area.
Was Christine's laptop there with you guys?
Yes.
Was her phone with you guys?
I don't seem to remember much about her phone that day because my recollection is her using the laptop, and that's where she was doing the research that we were talking about.
Now, did there come a time when you recorded Lily and the sounds that Lily made and makes?
Yes. I believe it was in the summer of 24.
Okay. And in doing that recording, why were you making a recording of Lily's sounds?
Ryan Campbell which is Juliana's attorney, had come to my house because he wanted to view the layout of the house and see how far it took to get to places and where my gun safe was and things like that. And when he was there, I had Lily outside because I didn't want her to bother him. And he heard sounds of Lily whining and complaining to come in because she was separated from everyone on the inside. And I believe it reminded him of the
Sustained as
I don't think you can say what he thought.
Okay.
What, if anything, did he ask you to do?
Objection, hearsay.
Based upon your conversation with him, what, if anything, did you do?
I recorded the sounds that Lily made.
Okay. And have you listened to the file of Lily 3?
Yes.
And does that accurately represent the sounds that Lily made?
Yes, I sent several different recordings I made several different recordings for her. Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of the one Lily 3?
Yes.
And you've heard it and you've listened to it?
Yes.
And that reflects the sounds that Lily makes?
Yes, it does.
Here, I move that in as defense exhibit number 377.
Any objection?
No objection.
377 is it was indicated as a different exhibit. Do you want me at 378?
Oh, yes, sorry, Judge. I thought we'd stopped at 376,
Well,
so that's why.
You tried to get 377 in, but we didn't. So
Yeah,
378?
378. Thank
Okay,
you.
378 in evidence.
And here, let me just chat with counsel for 1 second. Your Honor, the file that I was about to move in is already in evidence in the Commonwealth's case with a 911 call.
Okay, that's the exhibit 1 or exhibit 2 or 3? We have 3911.
I believe it's exhibit 1.
Okay. All right.
Court's in Somers.
Yes, sir.
Sir, have you ever used or looked at FetLife prior to the discovery that's come out in this case?
No, I've never used or looked at or heard of FetLife previously.
Were
Guys,
you aware
no. After she got arrested early on, so that's why her lawyer came around.
Christine using FetLife at all?
No, I didn't have any knowledge of Christine using FetLife.
Did you have any knowledge of whether she had used Craigslist ever?
I think that she did back in New York to advertise that we had a yard sale.
Okay. And that would be the extent of the use of Craigslist?
That's the only time that I can remember.
How about something called Backpage? Did you ever know her to have used those kind of things?
No.
Was there any sort of, well, let me ask you this. How is it that you and Christine would primarily communicate?
Primarily, we would communicate on the phone. We would talk almost, when Christine would leave from work, she would almost always call me. Obviously in person when we're together. And if it's messages, such as when we're both at work, we usually use Facebook Messenger.
Now, in terms of what you've observed with FetLife, in your own relationship, were any of those sorts of things done in the bedroom?
There was a point a number of years ago that Christine had indicated that she was interested in bondage type situations.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Without getting into what she had said, were there times when...
Objection, leading.
Sustained is leading.
What, if any, times were there conflict in terms of sexual...
Objection, leading.
Sustained is leading.
In terms of your sexual relationship with Christine, what, if any, differences did you have?
I was not interested in ever harming her. I was never interested in sexual violence. I would say that we also had a discrepancy of how often we would like to have sex, or I would like to have sex more frequently than we did.
But did those differences, what, if any, effect did those differences have on your relationship with Christine?
I would say that those differences caused some of the reasons why we had affairs at various points in our relationship.
Did you love your wife?
Yes.
Do you love your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any?
Hold on, we need to rewind that. There we go.
On your relationship with Christine?
I would say that those differences caused some of the reasons why we had affairs at various points in our relationship.
Did you love your wife?
Yes.
Do you love your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any sort of plan for what February 24th became?
No, it was a situation I was never expecting, never expected to be in, would never want anyone to be in.
In terms of looking back on February 24th, what, if any, things do you think you would do differently?
Objection, relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, things would you do differently in the room confronting Joe Ryan?
Objection, relevance.
I'll sustain as to relevance.
When you shot Joe Ryan, were you aware of where you would hit him immediately?
No.
When was it that you found out that you'd hit him in the head?
Actually, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure where I hit him until we had discovery.
And why did you shoot Joe Ryan on February 24th?
He was attacking Christine. I mean, he was stabbing her. I mean, I wish I shot him earlier.
Karen, I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
It's my power cord anyway.
Wow. Yeah, like you didn't know you killed him. You didn't check to make sure he was down. I kind of don't buy that. I don't know here.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good. So let's understand. This is the first time you've told this story or any story about what happened in the bedroom on February 24th, 2023, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you did not tell the police on that day in the bedroom. You did not tell the police on that day in hospital. You did not tell them when you were back at the station, correct?
Judge, I'd object. May we approach?
Yeah, this is some Fifth Amendment. He doesn't have to. You're kind of using the Fifth Amendment runaround here. That's it's always dicey as a prosecutor to do that because I make these arguments all the time. This is a Fifth Amendment runaround thing here. I hate how they do that. Well, Spud Gun, they do that all the time. And she's just like, I'm not granting
Sorry,
it.
thank you. Let's try that again. You didn't tell the police in the house. You didn't tell them in the driveway. You didn't tell them at the hospital. You didn't tell them back at the station, correct?
I said what I did on the 911 call. I was not questioned. I was not questioned by the police at the house, in the driveway, in the ambulance about what had happened.
Okay, but you were questioned at the police station. You didn't tell them then, right?
Actually, I was not questioned at the police station.
Okay. It's been 3 years. You have not had an opportunity to tell the police in the last 3 years what happened?
Yes, they have requested to speak to me. The police did request Detective Bryant, I believe, requested to speak to me at the hospital, not at the police station. And yes, they did request to speak to me through my attorney subsequently.
Okay, and you were given the opportunity to tell a court what happened when you were brought in to testify at Juliana's preliminary hearing, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and at that point in time, you didn't tell anybody this story, right?
I was advised that that defense of others is not relevant for preliminary hearings, and it was my intention that I was going to testify at Juliana's trial.
Okay, but at the preliminary hearing, you didn't even admit to Christine being your wife, correct?
That's what I was instructed to by my attorney.
Okay, so now that you've heard all of the evidence, every possible hearing that could happen in this case has happened. Now you are ready to tell us what happened. Is that accurate?
I was ready to tell what happened at Juliana's testimony, at Juliana's trial when that was scheduled for November.
Okay.
And I've been waiting to do that for mine. I was expecting my trial to be earlier than this too.
But at no point in time have you reached out to law enforcement to tell them, at no point have you had your counsel reach out to law enforcement to tell them this story?
Actually, I did have.
Your wife, excuse me, I'm not finished. You have not asked anyone to talk about how you saved your wife or tried to save your wife, have you?
Actually, I did. I told counsel that I would participate in any of the civil investigations that was going to be involved with my agency, and that I would talk to them regarding this case as they required.
Okay, did you do that?
They did not take it up, was my understanding, because I believe the Fairfax police did not want them to.
Okay, understood.
Oh, she is getting snippy at him there. It's still a Fifth Amendment runaround, I agree, but like, she's coming after him. She's coming on way too strong. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's gonna fucking get after him here. I think she knows. He's already getting mad.
Your affair with Juliana began in August of 2022, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you took trips together, correct?
Yes.
You communicated with her on Discord, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Discord. Is that a messaging app that is secret, if you will?
No.
No? Okay, it's on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, and the two of you elected to communicate that way. Why not with Facebook Messenger like you communicated with Christine, your wife?
I think Discord is my favorite messenger app, and I use it a lot, both with my friends and the gaming groups that I was in. Christine did not use Discord.
Okay. You indicated earlier in your testimony yesterday, I think, that this affair with Juliana was really a nothing, right? This was just an affair. You had had others. This was not a relationship, correct?
I would say that it was a relationship, but it is an affair, but I wouldn't categorize it as serious.
Not serious. Okay. Did you love her?
There was points that I told her that I loved her.
You told her that you loved her, but you didn't actually love her.
I would say that I had feelings for her, but they weren't nearly as strong as feelings for my wife.
Understood. Okay. So let's take a look. Judge, I'd like to have displayed to the witness and counsel Commonwealth 244. All right. So Mr. Banfield, these are your Discord messages with Juliana. Do you recognize the username APOCD2?
Yes, that's my
A little
Discord.
later so you can see. Has some more numbers after that, D21? All right. And that's you, right?
Yes, that is my Discord.
Okay.
Name.
And Juliana is identified as Juliana. Is that correct?
It appears to be.
Okay. So if we look at line 30, which I'll highlight for you here, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2023, Juliana tried to break up with you, right?
Juliana broke up with me numerous times.
Okay, on this occasion, she said, I told you I'm seeing other people. We spoke about this already. I won't be going, speaking of this trip to New York that you were going to take with Valerie,
Yes.
right? I'm sure you two will have lots of fun, something to that effect, right?
Yes.
Okay, this upset you, didn't it?
No.
No? Okay, you beg her in the next several messages to please talk to you, correct? How are you? Do you want to talk? We can chat. We'll scroll up so you can see more.
And those are a different day, it appears.
Well, it looks like it's within hours. Yes, midnight happens and we've moved into another day, but you're still asking if you can talk to her, right?
No, that appears to be what it says.
Okay. Judge, I'd offer into evidence Commonwealth's 244, the Discord messages.
Any objection?
Okay.
All right, 244 in evidence.
And Judge, if that's been published, the jury will let it linger for a second, and then if we can, take it down. Judge, if we can move to display to the witness and to counsel, Commonwealth's 245. Mr. Banfield, I'm going to just scroll through it. Let me know if you recognize this letter.
Yes.
All right, do you recognize this letter?
Yes.
And this is your letter to Juliana,
Correct.
written while she's incarcerated, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that in this letter you profess your undying love for Juliana?
Yes, it appears that I was definitely in love with her definitely starting in the summer of 23.
Oh, okay. So it was just before she was arrested that you were fully in love with her?
Well, that's when we had an opportunity to actually have a bit of a relationship. With other points were obviously very separated. I mean, I was still working a lot. Christina was obviously still around, and I was spending a lot of time with her. So it wasn't really until the summer of 23 that we had a lot of time together.
Okay. But in this letter, you're talking about the memories of times you spent together before Christine's death, correct?
It seems like some of them are before and some are after.
Okay. And the long hot cuddle, was that before Christine's death?
No, that was after. We rode a bike and
That's such cringe shit.
went to lunch and got caught in the ring.
Okay.
You got caught
Judge, I'd
in the
offer this is Commonwealth's
rain.
245.
Any
Aw.
objection? 245 in evidence.
And again, you described here in the very first paragraph-ish, you came here and we fell in love. But you're suggesting that that love didn't happen until after Christine was dead?
As I said, that we did have feelings for each other prior, but I would not describe them as the level of feelings that I had for my wife of 19 years.
All right. Judge, if I can just continue the display.
All right.
And if I can have Commonwealth's 246 shared with counsel and the defendant. Mr. Banfield, this one's 14 pages, so I'm not going to belabor this, but this is another love letter to Juliana. Is that accurate?
It looks that way.
Judge, I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth's 246.
Any objection?
I don't know the foundation for him
I'm
identifying
sorry.
it, Judge.
Microphone just can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't know that he's actually identified it. I think he's just agreed with her
Oh,
statement.
I'm sorry. I thought he said, yes, this was his letter to Juliana. This is your letter to Juliana?
Yes.
All right, 246 in evidence.
And here you said that she's your gym partner, helped you to be the strongest in your life. You've never had a consistent partner before.
Yes, that was referring to a gym partner.
I am obsessed with your happiness.
Yes.
But again, all of this is after Christine
I mean,
had passed?
if you look at that, it also that I declared that she was a hero because, in my view, she saved my life that day. I think it's easier to fall in love with somebody that
Nobody buys that.
saved you.
No fucking way.
All right.
Nobody.
And I'm going to
buys
have you take a
that
look.
shit,
Judge, if we can pull
man.
this down. Commonwealth's 247. Do you recognize this item?
Yes.
All right. And this is another love letter to Juliana.
Yes.
All right. Judge, it offers into evidence. Commonwealth's 247.
Any objection?
No.
247?
Okay. And if we can pull this down. I can have you take a look at Commonwealth's 250. Do you recognize this letter?
Yes.
Again, you to Juliana?
Yes.
And in this one, you're discussing baby names for your future children with her.
That is something that you wanted to talk about.
Okay. Judge, I would
Oh,
offer this into
fuck.
evidence as Commonwealth's 250.
Any objection? 250 in evidence?
Oh, baby names, chat. Baby names.
All right. But you are contending, again, these feelings, these very strong feelings, these let's be together for the rest of our lives feelings did not exist when your wife was alive.
Correct.
Okay. And they certainly did not motivate you to kill your wife.
Juliana and I weren't even together when Christine died.
All right.
Oh, you weren't? You were just
had broken up,
looking
is that correct?
partially.
Yes.
Okay. Did you need to
Part-time
kill your
fuck.
wife to get her back?
Definitely not.
Okay, come on now.
You had multiple affairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And one of those affairs was with a woman named Danielle, who you met on a fetish site searching for sugar babies. Is that correct?
Oh,
I would not call it a fetish site.
Okay. What would you call it?
An arranged relationship,
Okay. But you were looking for someone to be your sugar baby?
Whoa.
I guess. It was a relationship where they would already know that I was married. That was what I was looking for.
Okay. Another one of your affairs was with your best friend's wife. Is that correct?
No. Number, first, he's not my best friend. Number two, they were not married. They were not even together at that point.
They were. Is that your understanding of what they believed, or is that how you perceived their relationship? Did they think they were together?
I don't think so. My understanding is that she wanted to be with him and they were not together at that point.
Okay.
But no, they were definitely not married at that point or anything like that.
Okay. But you were married at that point.
Yes, I was married at that point.
All right. Thank you. Let's talk about Christine and her apparent decision to solicit someone to fake rape her. You would agree you have not seen today, nor are you aware of any phone history, computer history, indicating that she was interested in this type of relationship prior to January of 2023, correct?
I was aware that she was interested in this type of thing, but I was unaware of the messages or that she was pursuing this again, as had been many years since she had expressed those feelings.
Okay, but there is no internet history that you're aware of predating January 2023, correct?
I'm not, did you ask that a different way?
Okay. From what you've seen in court, she sets this up. She's using a profile picture from a gym bathroom with like a Barbie doll. I think it's an Ariel doll in the picture. And that's a photo that she sent to you on that day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did she have any other pictures in her Facebook cache that she could have used that you're aware of?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
You never looked at her Facebook?
yes, I look at her Facebook, but I don't use social media very much.
Okay. You presented us with 20 plus pictures yesterday. Were any of those photos available to her? They all came from her Facebook page, correct?
I don't know where they came from. I didn't arrange for them.
Oh, okay. Those weren't your photos that you were sharing with us?
Some of them appeared to be my photos, but I don't know. Some of them, I believe, were my mother's. Some of them, I think, were Christine's. A lot of times, Christine and I, if we were to share photos, we shared them on Messenger.
Okay. All right. And in the pictures that you all had shared on Messenger, there was not a single other photo of Christine where she wasn't in a public bathroom that she could have used as her profile photo?
I'm sure she could choose whatever profile photo she would have wanted. I don't know why. I mean, it appears that she took the photo that day and used the photo that day for herself.
Okay. When these solicitations occurred between Christine and the other users on FetLife, she was looking for someone that she expected to engage with her sight unseen, correct? There were not to be any meetings in public in advance of this hookup. Correct?
That is what the messages seem to appear.
Okay. And she was only doing this when either you or Juliana were home, correct?
It appeared to me that it happened when I was not home based on what was presented today often.
Right, but Juliana was home, correct?
I don't necessarily know where Juliana was at those points.
You just know that you weren't there, correct?
Well, we went through lots of the evidence that showed that there was many times that I wasn't there. There was points that it showed that the messages were logged into from the CBRN email that Juliana states that she has no knowledge of, never logged into, doesn't know the password to. And so if Juliana is home, whether she is or not, the only other person that is home is Christine.
Right. But most importantly, you are not home, correct?
He's getting mad.
It appears that there was many messages that were sent while I was home and many messages that were sent while I wasn't home.
I am asking, you were not home.
There is both messages that from when I was home and when I was not home. It appears.
Okay. So the person that she picked, again, was one who was willing to come to her home, not a hotel, without any sort of public meetup first, as seemed to be the ask from most of the other participants on FetLife. Accurate?
I didn't read the other messages between other people.
Okay. And this person needed to be willing to bring a knife, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see an ask for the knife.
No problem. You were present for your daughter's birth. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, were you aware that Christine received medication to address her blood clotting disorder?
My experience is that she did not, that they tested her in her prenatal experience and that she did not require.
There we go, chat. The medical issue for Christine finally came out. The medical issue finally came out. The clotting issue. There we go.
A medication for it, but they were going to monitor her for it during the delivery.
Okay, because you were aware she had a blood clotting disorder, correct?
I am aware that she has a blood clotting disorder.
Okay. When you set this whole thing up,
I didn't set this whole thing up.
I'm sorry, when Christine set this whole thing up, it was scheduled to occur minutes after her family was leaving the house at 7 a.m.-ish, correct?
I don't know what time her family was leaving the house.
Oh, you hadn't shared with her your plan to go to your meeting early the next morning?
I didn't have a meeting next. I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again?
Sure. The night before on the 23rd,
Oh,
right?
23rd,
When
sorry.
she is setting this up, she's scheduling it to occur at 7:20-ish a.m., which was going to be minutes
buddy.
after everyone had left the house to go to the zoo, to go to the big meeting, right?
That is what the messages seem to say.
Okay. And are you telling us that your wife was not aware that you had this big meeting scheduled for the 24th?
She was aware that I had the meeting scheduled.
Okay. And was she aware that the nanny was taking your daughter to the zoo?
It appears to me that she arranged for Juliana to take Valerie to the zoo. She got the parking tickets to take her to the zoo. She had planned it, I don't know, a week, 10 days prior.
Right.
We had a very serious and real relationship.
And the zoo opens at 8 o'clock and everyone's leaving at 7, but she scheduled Joe Ryan to come over at 7:20. Is that correct?
I don't know what time she scheduled exactly.
Okay. And you indicated that you were not aware that she had taken February 24th off until just the day before, right?
That is correct.
Okay, but that's not accurate because her parents were scheduled to come while you were going to be out of town the night of the 24th. Isn't that correct?
I believe they were coming in the evening and then she would already be back from work.
I see. So your expectation was that she was working that day, but their expectation and everyone else's expectation is that she would be home.
I don't believe it was ever stated that she was going to be home, that they were aware she was going to be home. My experience was that she was scheduled to work until that day.
But her parents were coming for dinner.
I don't know if they were coming for dinner. I think they were traveling through. I don't know why they were coming exactly.
Okay.
Because I think they were going to Florida or continuing on.
Okay. And it would be your contention that on the morning of this planned tryst, she took her phone and turned it off herself and put it in the kitchen drawer?
I don't know. I did not see her turn off the phone.
Okay. You didn't see her with her phone at all. Did
I
you?
saw her with her phone in the morning when I was getting ready.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. And she was on her phone in the morning when you were getting ready?
Yes, she had her phone in the morning,
And you said that was 6:30.
roughly. I mean,
Okay.
I was I was in and out getting ready in that morning, so it's hard to say an exact time.
So then would it surprise you if the digital forensics, Mr. Litsky's work would show that she was not on her phone at 6:30 or really any time before or after that with any?
I saw her with her phone. It was on the bed. She had the laptop also on the bed.
Got it. Okay. So she was just with the phone, not using the phone.
Yes.
I see. Let's talk about what happened in the room that morning. You leave the house, you go to McDonald's, and you're in the bathroom there for 7 minutes. Is that correct?
I believe that's what the time showed.
Okay. And you don't leave the bathroom until Juliana calls you at 7:37. Is that correct?
I believe that's the time. I don't have the time in front of me.
Okay. But as you're leaving the bathroom, you don't call 911.
I did not.
Okay. And you don't tell Juliana to call 911.
No, I did not.
You don't run out of McDonald's. We've seen you on the video. You walk to your car.
I thought it looked like I was walking faster than normal.
Okay, but you're not concerned. You said at this point in time, you didn't have any reason to worry. You thought maybe she was just having an affair, another one, correct?
That was my original thought.
Okay, so out of curiosity, if she's having another affair, why are you going back to the house at all? Why didn't you tell Juliana just to go to the zoo with Valerie? Don't worry about it. It's just another affair.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be telling Juliana about Christine's affairs. That's not something I would discuss with her.
Why not? You're having an affair with Juliana.
We discussed basically nothing about Christine together. She didn't want to know anything about Christine.
Okay, so you're leaving the McDonald's. You're heading back home to catch your wife in the affair then?
I was very unsure of what was going on at that point. It went through my mind that it was possibly going to be an affair, but I did not know what it was.
Okay, so when you arrive at the house, you're saying that Juliana brings Valerie in after you to the basement. Is that correct?
Yes, and she also said that she followed me later. She didn't say that I told her.
Okay, and at that point in time, again, you're still thinking you're just busting your wife having sex with some guy.
I did not know, once again, exactly what was going on. That was a consideration, that it was possible that she was having an affair, but I did not know what was happening at that time.
Okay, but be it catching her in an affair or this question mark something else that you haven't defined, why wouldn't you tell the babysitter to take your daughter back outside?
I believe that she was safe in the basement. I thought they were okay there. I did not perceive that they were in danger at that time. I told them to stay at the car. I don't know why she chose to come to the house.
Okay, but you're law enforcement and this is your house. You're not going to tell them what to do to ensure that they are safe when you have this doubt about what's going on?
I understand that. And it may have been a mistake that I didn't send them back out. And it's something that I've thought about many times.
Okay. You indicated that you haven't drawn your gun until you're on the stairs up to the bedroom and can hear what you think are sex noises coming from the bedroom. Is that correct?
Also,
No, I stated that when I was on the main floor, I believed that the noises were sex, moaning, things like that. But later on, when I was climbing the stairs, I had already changed my thought, and I thought that what I believe are strikes sounded too
sound like the
sharp,
baloney pony.
Right, your mind
moaning.
changed. It wasn't sex anymore. Now it sounded bad.
Yes.
Okay. At that point in time, there's a lock on the outside of your basement door, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't lock the basement door, did you?
I'm not sure I've ever locked that.
Well, the lock is there, isn't it?
It was there when it came to the house. I don't believe I've ever used that lock at any point.
Okay, but it would have presumably kept your babysitter and your child from leaving the basement and following you, as we know Juliana did, up to the room where bad things were now happening, right?
I guess that's possible, but I never thought of that lock. It's not something that's in my general thought pattern, as it's not something we ever use.
Okay, so you followed your training and pulled your weapon and walked up the stairs with the gun out. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And when you turned and saw Juliana had followed you, at that point in time, you're worried that bad things are happening, correct?
Yes, I am.
Did you tell her to call 911 at that point?
No, I was moving quickly towards the door.
Did you tell her to go back downstairs and get your daughter out of the house at that point?
I wasn't worried about Juliana at that point. I was worried about Christine.
Okay, and you weren't worried about your daughter at that point either then, right?
I don't think Valerie was on the top of my mind when I believed that Christine is being injured. And
Okay.
that was at the forefront of my mind.
So you get up to the room with your gun drawn and you see what's happening. You see Joe Ryan behind your naked wife with something metal in his hand. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point in time, you yelled police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't shoot.
No.
You did not yell for Juliana, who's behind you, to call 911.
I didn't know that Juliana was behind me or had climbed the stairs at that point. I had only seen her on the main floor leave at the door. I did not see her climb the stairs at that point.
Okay, but you told us that the foyer is this big echoey chamber that you can hear from anywhere in the house. If she's in the foyer and you're standing at the door, whether or not she's immediately behind you, if you yelled, call 911, she would hear you, wouldn't she, in this echoey foyer?
Yes, she would hear that.
Okay, but you didn't do that, did you?
I was focused on the tense situation that was in front of me.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask for just a moment while I log back in. Judge, if I can have the witness and counsel take a look at Commonwealth's 251. Mr. Banfield, is this the person that you saw when you entered the bedroom? Joseph
Yes.
Ryan? Yes?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, I'd offer Commonwealth's 251 into evidence.
Any objection?
Your Honor, object to relevance.
Overruled, 251 in evidence.
So this man, Joseph Ryan, planned to kill your wife, having left this completely discoverable trail on the internet. Is that correct?
I have no idea what his plans were.
Okay. So you think maybe he came for another reason and then at some point his mind changed?
I don't know.
Okay. Did he say anything to you that would lead you to believe that he stabbed your wife on the spur of the moment?
I mean, it appeared to be somewhat related to me telling him that I was going to arrest him. But besides that, I'm unsure.
Okay, well then let's nail this down. I thought you had said that when you entered the room, the knife is in his hand, the other hand's maybe on her neck, somewhere in her hair, and she's already bleeding, correct?
I believe that there was already blood in her hair.
Okay, so in your version of this, he had already stabbed her when you walked in the room.
I believe so.
Okay, and you then saw him stab her.
I guess I'm not sure. It could have been at that same time that he already has the knife to her neck. So I don't know if that he stabbed her before or that it was at that point that the knife is already to her neck, that the blood goes to her hair.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Let's go back then and talk about your testimony. You described that when you came in, Christine was moaning/yelled. You thought she was being stabbed. She went to her left, and it seemed he, Joseph Ryan, was putting forward movement. That's what you testified to, right? So that would be the first stab that you saw.
The knife is inside of her hair, which would be at the location of her neck. I can't tell. Christine was yelling and obviously in pain. So I might think that she was already had the knife pressed to her at that point.
So we know from the medical examiner, and you know because you got to hear it, that she was stabbed 7 times and then had an 8th cutting wound, correct?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but yes, that sounds familiar.
Okay, and you've described for us that she's already bleeding and that you see a forward movement, but you can't really tell what happened, right? And then you told us a bit ago that there's an exchange between you and Joe Ryan. You tell him to let her go at least one more time after this exchange. And it appears that he forcefully stabs Christine. She spins away toward you and lands on her stomach on the ground. So there's one clear stab.
It's not towards me, it's away from me.
Okay. But that is one moment when you see Joe Ryan stab Christine, correct?
Yes, and then downward after she went to the floor. So
Okay, so you believe that's another stab?
I'm only positive of the two.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Okay, so you've got 2. So there's 5 more. When did he stab her those other 5 times?
The knife is inside of her hair. I can't tell the movement. I can't tell how that is looking at that time. And I don't know exactly what happened before I arrived either.
Okay, well, she had to get 5 more wounds at some point. And you're telling us that when you get into the room, she's capable of speech, correct?
Yes,
Okay, she says a lot of stuff. She says that he's got a knife, right? Brendan, he's got a knife.
yes,
She says that. And she says at one point that she wants you to put more pressure on her neck, correct?
yeah. She told me to put my hand there, and then she put more pressure on my hand.
And then at one point, she tells you she can't see, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. And all of this talking is happening with what at that point in time has to be all 7 of the wounds in her neck, correct?
yes.
Okay. Judge, if I can hold down the current display. Take a look at Commonwealth's previously admitted 23.
23 under seal?
I'm sorry, 22. I apologize.
22 under seal.
All right, and these are the wounds on the left side of her neck, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And if I can have the witness and the jury take a look at previously admitted Commonwealth's 25, also under seal. And these are the wounds on the right side of her neck, correct?
yes,
Okay, and she's chatting with you with these wounds in her neck, correct?
yes. Her voice is very hoarse. She was having difficulty speaking, but yes, she was talking to me.
Okay. So going back to Joe for a moment, you are not aware of what his plan was, whether it be to kill her or that may have just been something that happened while he was there, correct?
I know nothing about Joe Ryan prior to these interactions in the bedroom.
Okay. But you know from having sat through this trial what the Commonwealth's evidence is, right?
Yes,
Okay. And you know that he texted with someone on Christine's laptop that whole morning, correct?
yes.
And you know that he laid out his expected arrival time, correct?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you catch that he stopped at Walmart on his way to your house and bought personal lubricants because your
Your Honor, I
wife?
object. She's
What's your legal objection?
talking about the case and she's having him corroborate what their case is.
I don't know what that legal objection is. What's the legal?
It's not relevant.
Overruled.
I'm aware he went to Walmart.
I'm sorry, you're aware he went to Walmart, right?
Yes.
And then he bought personal lubricants for your wife, correct?
I guess.
Who
I don't
he may
know.
or may not have been intending to murder, correct?
I don't know why he bought personal lubricant.
Okay. He left his car parked in your driveway in broad daylight, which you saw, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and he left his 2 cell phones in his car per the instructions that your wife gave him on Telegram, correct?
I guess I saw the pictures on the floor. I didn't know where they were.
Okay. You said that you heard what you thought initially were sex noises, right?
Yes,
Okay, but we know from the physical evidence recovery kits that were taken from both Mr. Ryan and your wife that there was no semen, no DNA from Mr. Ryan found in or around your wife's genitalia, correct?
that's my understanding.
So how long do you think passed between your instructions to Joe Ryan to put down the knife, let her go, let her go, let her go, and your wife is bleeding before you shot him?
Not that long, under a minute.
Under a minute. Okay, so if we were to count out 60 seconds, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, that would be a minute. And in that time, you did not shoot him.
I did not shoot him, and I did not shoot him prior to Christine going to the floor.
Okay, and at that point in time that she's going to the floor, we're at least 6 stab wounds in, right?
To the best of my knowledge, it's hard to see. Also, I'm aiming down my sight at Joe, and so I'm not focused
You're using
exactly
his name.
on Christine. You have a narrow
sounds so
view
bad.
when you're aiming down a firearm.
And you just couldn't pull the trigger, could you?
I was afraid.
Okay. And you are a trained law enforcement officer, correct?
I am, but I have
You don't train to have your
my
wife
shooting
in the
record
crosshairs.
is on the lower end for the qualifications, and there is not a lot, and there's very little space there. And I was afraid of hitting her.
Okay. Mr. Ryan did not have a gun, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
You also had handcuffs, correct?
Yes,
You didn't use those to apprehend Mr. Ryan, correct?
looking back on it, I should have handcuffed him after my shot. Would be something that I should have done looking back at it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your weapons training. You said that you go to the range monthly to keep up on your skills. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say I go roughly every month, every other month when I can.
Okay. So would it then surprise you that when you took Juliana in October of 2022, that you hadn't been since one time in April and one time in May of that year, and prior to that, not since 2020?
I was going to Blackfish Armory as my primary place. We had the Treasury Department had a contract with them, and I didn't have to pay for them, but the contract ended. And so then I went back to Silver Eagle Group.
When did the contract end?
I'm not sure, but Blackfish Armory actually went out of business. They were in Chantilly, so that was pretty close to me. So that's where I was primarily going prior to Silver Eagle Group.
Okay, but you were going to Silver Eagle Group in 2020, and then you went to Silver Eagle Group in April and May of 2022, and then in October and December when you took Juliana. So at what point in time did you transition to Silver Eagle Group?
I mean, I guess I came to Virginia in 2019, so I guess probably in 2019, 2020, 2021, sounds like I was probably going to Blackfish Armory instead of Silver Eagle Group.
Well, without speculating, what do you remember doing?
That's not something that I remember the transition of exactly between the two.
Okay. Why did you teach Juliana to shoot?
It was something that we could do together. It was, in terms of many activities, it was something that was going to be out of the house. And generally when I could, or she could, we would do activities together. It was something I was already going to do, and she wanted to come with me.
Okay. And you gave her the code to your safe in your bedroom, correct?
She realized that it was the same code as the door when I was putting away my gear during the day.
So your gun safe code is the same as the door code to your house that your child and wife and babysitter have access to?
They had their own codes, but my code was the same between my door and my safe in my car. It was the same for all of them.
Oh, okay. So Juliana didn't have the door code because that's how she got in and out of the house.
She had her own door code to get in and out of the house.
Okay, so you gave her the code to your safe.
Those are different. I have my own code to the door, and she has her own code to the door, and my mother has her own code to the door, and Christine has her own code to the door. She just, being next to me, going in and out of the house, knew my code.
So when you observed your babysitter picking up your code because she was able to see, you didn't think that was a good time to change the code?
It wasn't a concern of mine at that point. I didn't think about it. Also, I don't think I've ever changed the code after the initial setup. It wasn't something that was on my mind.
Okay. Is that part of your law enforcement training, that it's okay for people to have the code to your gun safe?
I am aware that others in my department had family members that were aware that they knew the code, that they knew their codes.
Okay.
Is this a breaking time for lunch, or you let me know? Okay.
I only have a little bit left, Judge. If I can have 10 more minutes.
That's fine.
I won't make everybody starve, but
Okay.
just a little bit. Thank you.
That's fine.
Do you have any life-saving training as a result of your law enforcement background?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. And your life-saving training.
Okay, chat. We're gonna have to stop here. Well, she said she's got 10 more minutes. We'll we'll finish up the last little bit here till the break. But yeah, here we go.
Tells you that Juliana should be the one to call 911 while you are attending to Christine. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but when Juliana hadn't called 911, you didn't think that was the time at which maybe you should do it?
I didn't realize that she didn't call 911 immediately because I was focused on Christine. So
Okay.
I wasn't looking at Juliana after I told her to call 911. I was looking at Christine.
Okay, so you're also then not aware that Juliana hung up on 911 15 minutes prior to the call where you spoke to them?
My awareness was that she made that original call in the upstairs room.
She made the original call in the upstairs room, and where were you?
No, my understanding is that she actually made the call originally while she was in the basement.
Oh,
As per
not the
her.
upstairs. Okay. Okay, so you weren't there then, is your contention?
I never heard her make the original call. I never saw her make the original call.
And you certainly didn't tell her to hang up the phone.
No, I knew nothing about the original call until far later.
Okay, so while you are tending to your wife and exchanging hand placement with her over the wounds that we saw, you did not at that point in time use the towel, blanket, the sheet, or the other blanket to staunch the flow of blood from her neck?
It wasn't until I was instructed to by 911 to do that. Pressure is a different form of treatment that we were taught, and that is also what Christine was doing. I believe that was the best course of action at the time.
To put pressure on the wound that was so large that your finger went inside of it. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's kind of what, there's only so much you could do.
And when first responders arrived, you agree you're on video holding her neck with your bare hand, correct?
I think so.
So where had the towel, the blanket, the sheet gone at that point after you were instructed by 911?
I think the towel was right next to me, but
It was under your knees, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I thought it was right next to me.
thank you. Nothing further, Judge.
All right. Let's go ahead. I assume it's going to take a little time to redirect. Okay, let's go ahead and take our hour lunch then. Don't discuss the case and don't do any outside research. See you back here about 2:15.
I mean, oh, chat, that was a disaster. Wow, they're going to be patching bullet holes for a while there. So that could have been worse. I mean, other than saying, yes, I did it, and I hope she burns in hell. Like, yes, she deserved to die. Like, other than that, yes. It could have gone worse. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he put down the towel for his knee. Well, yeah, he put the knee on her neck. He's like, I'm trying to help. Oh. Joe, that was a lot of damage, I think. That was not a good cross. I mean, their case is already in the dumpster, but like he had to deliver and he didn't deliver. He's like, I think that went well. Look at this guy's face. He's like, I think that went well. Why end with the towel thingy? Well, that's a problem here. That was a weak ending, but they were hitting her hard. Well, they were scoring points early on with how did all this shit not match up? But yeah. If I'm a juror and I don't believe either of them, well, if you don't believe the nanny and you don't believe the husband, I think you might have to say not guilty. But like, I don't think you could not believe both. That just seems weird. But I guess you could. Like, I'm not sure what context. He looked worse on direct question. He looked bad on. Well, yeah, he looked like I am a robot. It's like Mark Zuckerberg. So we'll see. I don't know. That was just not good at all. Not good at all, chat. That is, oh my God, my wing. My wing. And I need to recomb that because it does that once in a while. It does that. And it's like, not because my shirt touching there. It's like I have a natural grain line in my hair. But yeah, wow. His story lines up the evidence, even I don't think he's telling the truth. Well, that's because he did it. Yeah, Afton, he was not all likable or believable. And Phil, what did you say? Yeah, why about the towel thing? Like I said, I don't know. They managed to dress appropriately. That's we got that far with them. So you gotta give them credit. Okay. We're gonna have to deal with what we get. We're gonna deal with what we get there. Let's see here. What else is there? Sorry, chat. How is the judge biased? Yeah, I don't think she's biased. Prosecutors had hooch tattoo on her right forearm. Oh, yeah, I think you should probably cover that up. Yeah, Jussie Smollett. Yeah. She didn't take the days of phone logs bait. I agree. She stayed away from all that because there's no way you're going to be able to fight any of that nonsense. And here's the problem. That all, I didn't even think about it. Because you know why? I said I went in one ear and just right out the other. Nobody listened to that. Nobody listened to that shit and figured out anything. Nobody listened to that shit. Now, guys, actually, what we're going to do, because I'm going to see how much time do we have left? We have 2 hours left. We are not going to do locals. After the 9:30 show, we're going to come back and finish this up. How about that? So we got to get this caught up because, yes, Afton, I accidentally scrolled ahead here on the thing, and I saw what that is. Oh, my God. I want to see that fucking rebuttal. I want to see the rebuttal witnesses here. It's going to be good. I really want to see these rebuttals. If you don't believe the nanny, it's not guilty. Well, I mean, you could believe her that she's lying and she covered up her involvement and his involvement. But yes, if you don't believe any of it, yes, I would have to say not guilty. So we'll do that right afterwards, chat. I mean, I can see it. I'm not saying it's correct, but I can understand it. I wouldn't agree with it, but I understand it. So, oh, what was that? Well, anyways, chat, that is going to be it for us here. We're going to wrap this up right now. I wonder if it's a former best friend. I don't know. But anyways, chat, we're going to wrap this up here. I will see you guys over at the 9:30 show. Remember, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got Tectone, the streamer. Apparently he's got a protection order against him. Apparently he is fucking creepy. And he's already violated shit on the internet with it. We've got Sonia Massey, the woman who got murdered with the boiling pot of water. Her killer, the officer who killed her, was sentenced today. Nick Rekieta did have some victories with the body cams. We got to go over some dubs for Nick Rekieta. Total Baldo victory. And then a lot of crazy shit out of Minnesota that we're going to get into. We're going to get into that tonight. So I will see you guys over there. And yeah, chat. In the meantime, just remember, his hurt because it was all his heroic kneeling. Yes. So, anyways, chat, remember, till next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Except this motherfucker is guilty as fuck. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying, chat. He's guilty. He's done. He's done-y! To quote the great Jay-Z. I'll see you guys at 9:30, chat.
Weapons blacksmithing and models of planes, esoteric works and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy